As you remember, last time our team went into the home of Lord Delvar to rescue Valeris the spy. Resounding success, except for some people getting hurt and some people actually coming face to face with people like Lord Skurlock. So we'll see how that plays out as we go into downtime, the exciting and fun time in between scores. All right, so here we go. I'll just bring in our players. And you can see at the top, there's John, who plays Brute. Do you want to give us a word or two about Brute? And
I do apologise. I actually pressed the wrong button. I turned my camera off rather than turning my microphone on.
I thought he's gone. That's all good.
So Barlow Slane, known as the Brute, is a very, very large man. Intimidating to some, but not to everybody. Although he has noticed that when he goes somewhere, people tend to forget that he's actually been there, which is a useful trait sometimes. Whether they forget or they forget, it's not entirely sure. And his specialisation is in keeping the peace.
Excellent. Felix, are you still struggling with Skype? Are you able to pop on?
It's not great. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, let me get it all set up. Raka is a leech. He's a military medic. Comes across as quite a crusty and feral-looking Victorian Fred Dibner type character who's good at wrecking, prowling, and concocting things.
Very good. Pete, tell us about Twitch.
So Twitch is relatively small, slim, dark curly hair, usually under a knit cap. And he's the stealthy type.
Gotcha.
So, very much fades into the background when he can.
And has his nickname because of the fact that he twitches all the time, sort of.
Yes, yeah.
Constantly moving.
He can never sit still. He's always bouncing around.
And Christine.
I play Mara Moon. Mara is a whisper. She's got a slight, wiry, slim build frame, average height, average mousy brown hair. She wears a huge enveloping, furry-lined hooded cloak. She normally keeps the hood up. When she pops it back, you'll see she's got the weirdest liquid silvery eyes that look like they're looking through you or past you. Or are they looking at you? You're never quite sure.
Nice. And last but not least, said it and said it. Said it the person and said it the cat.
Said it. Too true. Said it's a live athletic hunter, hound in the game. She specialises in tracking things down and disposing of them quickly. And her familiar hunting pet, is linked to her telepathically, which actually helps with the taking down of suspects.
Sorry?
Being part demon.
About 2.5 minutes, as long as it's warm.
She's ideal for this form. She's exceedingly striking, very pretty to look at, and sensual in nearly every single aspect. She definitely turned heads. And with the Brute, I think, it would be a challenge for people to not notice, but I think the Brute will definitely make sure that people forget.
Very good. So that's our team, folks. So we've got almost all of the character types in Blades in the Dark represented. We're the one that we're missing is the Spider, which is sort of the mastermind that helps other things out. You'll see that that plays out tonight as the spider is able to help out with others that are doing their downtime stress relief with him. And none of these guys have that, so they don't have any capability of not overindulging if they happen to do so during their stress release. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to move across here to our Roll20 screen. And you can see our folks are across the bottom. Felix is still struggling a little bit with his Skype. And then what I'll do is I'm going to move over to the page that they already all see, which is we have a map of Duskfall on the right. We have some of the different factions that our characters are dealing with, our crew, that they have positive or negative relationships. You see that there's some clocks that are running for different people putting things together and figuring out things about this particular crew. And that's just sort of the basic information we've got sitting right there as we start playing. All of this runs ridiculously well. Bravo to Roll20 for incorporating the Blades in the Dark rules and making this a very easy thing to put out here for everybody. All right, with that said, what I'll do is I'll reach across here, and you can see those of you that are watching. Actually, I think my video is right in front of where I'm touching. I click on the, and as soon as I say it, things got a little bit hard. Here we go. We'll bring up the downtime. Oh, did I show that to you guys? No, I did not. Here, show players. We're back here, and so we will be starting with the payoff, which sounds really good to me. Now, you guys did not physically take anything from this that you remember in the game. However, if you succeed in a score, you're supposed to get payoff. So here's how I'm sort of back doing that, is you guys gain 8 coin worth of silver candelabras. You will need to fence them to get that type of money out of them. And when the Brute was in the room with Lord Skurlark and Lord Delvar, standing near their table as they were looking over the dubious documents that he had handed them, he saw 2 black cards on the table and palmed them. Those cards are pure black with words etched in radiant silver ink. And it says, next moontide, lunchtime to the hour of silk, Ebonlock Manor in 6 Towers. And that's the only thing that is on those black cards. So that's what you guys got out of your payoff. So next, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking possibly invitations to this nameless exhibition.
Ah, that sounds like a very logical thought. And with the, let's move along to the heat. So what's going to happen here is there's +1 heat for a high profile or well-connected target. Okay. I was tempted to go all the way up to 6 heat for wild, devastating exposure, just because of the type of people you're dealing with. But I think you got away without actually giving up everything. It's not like everybody knows who you are. So I'm willing to drop that down to 4, which is fairly loud and chaotic, and fairly high exposure as far as one of you had to go face to face with the very people that you were robbing and taking Valeris away from them. So with that, that brings you to a total of 5 heat that you generated from that last event. With the 1 that you have on your crew sheet, I think that brings you to 6.
Yeah.
All right. So which one of you is going to roll 1d6 so we can see what happens?
I definitely don't think it should be either Pete or myself because we roll crap.
Well, a 6
very badly last week when it came to rolling dice. So yeah, I would say
okay. So we have some non-volunteers.
I'll do it.
All right.
Go for it, said it.
And it's 1.
Oh, no!
Wow. Well, nothing's good on this entire thing. So you'll see in the downtime. That means someone is flipped or interrogated. Okay? And what has happened, and you hear just through rumor and word on the street, is that Madame Teslin, the owner of the Red Lamp, has been hauled in to be interrogated. No one's quite sure why.
She's the. Sorry to recap. She's the madam that we got Vivienne from.
No, she is the madam.
Which madam is she?
Yeah, exactly. She is the madam for whom Polonia, the sister of our friend Brute, works for.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
so,
okay.
With that, we don't know what she has told Bluecoats. We don't know. We may see her a little bit later and find out how she's doing and how roughed up she got. And we'll see. Could be very, very interesting.
I think out of the 3 from your entanglements section, I think 1 to 3 is possibly the lightest out of all 3 sections.
Yes, none of those are good.
No, but I think that's the best one out of the 3. Oh dear. Yes. Okay. So
I'm just looking here under interrogation. Is it worth paying off the Bluecoats to get her out?
So that's an interesting thought. The Bluecoats round up one of them. You can pay them off with 3 coin. Well, let's say interrogation. So I've done flipped, which is without flipped. They have taken someone besides you guys. Now, I will let you, if you so choose, do that particular bit. Pay 3 coins so that they don't beat up this lady, or she's gonna get beat.
It's either that or we go full out war onto the Bluecoats.
I would say, we scored big. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can afford.
I think we the heat is our fault.
Okay. So
Brute put a lot of effort into and not insubstantial amount of risk in what he did. So
we should just leave her there. Yeah.
do we know?
Especially if it's a big.
So do know that if they're not paid, she takes level 2 harm, and they may get from her what they want.
Exactly.
Well, I can heal her. I can heal her.
Exactly.
Do we know?
Heat.
So Anthony,
go ahead. Yes.
I'd say pay him off. That's my vote. So.
Okay.
So Anthony, do we know? Sorry, go on, Christine.
Sorry, I agree. I think we should pay them off. Not only that, it also surely gives us a bonus favour with her. The fact that we're doing this and getting her out. Getting her out.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so my question is, do we know about the Brute's sister being under the charge of the madam?
Yes.
Is that a group knowledge? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we shouldn't even need to discuss it. It should just get paid because we need to look after our own, don't we?
All right. So evidently, when she was arrested, she was transferred to a certain captain, and this particular captain is known as.
Where's my notes?
I've got it right here.
Not Drake Marn, is it?
Yes, it is. She's been moved from a couple of places to Captain Drake Marn. Absolutely.
I know where he lives.
I think Drake's place in Brightstone probably needs to have an accident. Sorry, in Charhollow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do know where he lives.
Probably needs to have an accident, and given how well I know the people of Char Hollow, that might be something to consider during our downtime.
Very interesting.
I'm just trying to find my notes.
So how do you? So by the way, I posted all the notes I've taken into the Discord channel that we used to coordinate here. So those are there. So how do you choose to make this payoff? Are one of you? Walking in?
If the group's up for it, I was just going to go straight to his home.
Okay.
And make the exchange at his home.
Okay.
And
what is your reasoning for paying off this particular debt, if asked? Or do you want to use a go-between who might have another some other way of not exposing you to this particular person? I mean, you guys tell me.
We've got the
if we go up there, yeah,
we've got La Rosa, who's a blue coat. Could we not use them?
Well, we're already in negatives with the blue coats anyway because of the previous job that Becca did.
Mm-hmm.
What about Brute's sister? She's got a good excuse for getting her boss out of Clink. No one would question that.
Except for the fact that she was just broken out of this very same prison cell.
Yeah.
That's the only downside.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
the Rose is a friend of ours. We could approach him. He's unlikely to dob us in, and then he could then go to the others and pay them off.
Okay. So this guy's name again? He's off of one of your character sheets as a friend. Which one is he? Or is he off of your?
I don't know who's in crew contacts, but.
Oh, he's in your crew contacts.
Okay. What about Grace? So either Grace or I have a contact in the blue coats, which is Darmot.
Yeah, I think we should leave Grace out of it because Grace will want paying.
True.
Which is fair enough. I like your idea of a blue coat contact.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could go to Darmot and say, I need to make a donation to the Blue Coat Retirement Fund.
So
we got 2 contacts in the blue coat. Is that right?
Seems like
it. Have you got contacts in the blue coats as well?
I can only see one under contacts in crew mode.
So I'll sort of stop it a second here to show everybody, if anyone decides to watch online. This is what character sheet looks like here, and you can see Steve's character sheet. And I scroll down, and they have some friends and they have some enemies. He has a friend, this Darmot, who is a blue coat. Don't really know why. We'll maybe get into that. And then, I should have kept that up. On their crew sheet, so you click right there. They actually have some contacts, and this one is clicked right here. La Rose, is that right? La Rose, the blue coat. All right. So those are some of the things that you guys have as far as contacts, and we'll.
We've got a deal broker. Wouldn't that be good? A man in the contacts. What's a deal broker?
You can go to him if you need to find a score.
All right. So it's just the scores then. It's not for any old deal.
Correct. All right.
Okay. So if I go to Darmot, I'll explain to him, that.
Well, let's do this. So everybody's on the boat. You sort of come up with this idea, and you've headed off to find Darmot. So you sort of ask around your usual sources, and even a couple of blue coats you sort of know casually, and they say that Darmot is had a bit of a bender, and he's coming off of it. He is, and I'll bring this up and I'll take a quick look. He is actually at the Emperor's Cask Bar, the same place that Felix pissed in and got kicked out. over in White Crown. So I don't know how he's affording that on a blue coat salary, but he's over there and has what they say he's finished off a bit of a bender and is recovering.
Okay, I'll head over.
Okay, so you cross the bridge, passing your ship that is sitting off to the left, and move over into White Crown. And for those of you that are wondering exactly where he's going, their ship is right here. And so he has to come down to this bridge and cross into Brightstone and move across this bridge into White Crown. And we said that the pub is somewhere right over in here. So you enter the place. It is a faux pub. It's been dolled up to look like a common drinking establishment, but has all of the hints of the highly wealthy. None of the silver is tarnished. It probably is silver. The plates aren't chipped. The carpets are new and nice. The place does not smell like stale mushroom beer and urine. It's very pleasant, actually. There's a bartender behind the bar. It's a big wooden bar with a mirror behind it, like the old Western ones. And as you walk in, you see that at the far end of that bar, sitting on a stool, having a mug of tea, is the person in question. And this is, by the way, mid-morning-ish in this twilight world that has no light.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to head over to talk to him.
All right. Do you sit down next to him?
Yep.
So you pull up the bar stool right next to him. He turns his head. Hey, Twitch.
Hey, Dermot, how's it going?
Oof. It was a night. I actually wound up staying upstairs in one of the rooms. That wasn't cheap.
Yeah, it's a nice place here.
Yeah, it's not the usual place I come. That's for sure. But they've got real beer. He says, and it's a little bit louder than it should be. Mm-hmm. You can see the bartender roll her eyes.
Yeah. A bit rich for my tastes. You know, the sort of place I like to hang out.
That's usually where I'd rather be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Says, so what brings you over here?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've got a friend, and a member of his family works at a certain establishment.
Huh?
And the lady in charge has been pulled in. Completely.
The lady in charge.
Yeah.
Of the establishment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to intercede with some folks and maybe see what's going on, or what?
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's totally innocent. It's got nothing to do with it. But you know what things are like. You know, sometimes things get a little out of hand, and we prefer to keep things smooth.
Fair enough. So your friend's relative works in this place, you said. Is that correct? Okay. So which captain are we talking about? Are we talking about like in my district over in Crowsfoot, or are we talking about where is this?
Now I'm trying to remember the name. So, what was it?
Brightstone. Yeah, and Captain, I just forgot his name too. I'll let John bring that up. He's got it.
Drake Marn.
Drake Marn. There you go.
Drake Marn. Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, Captain Marn.
Over in Brightstone, huh? His boys are real ball breakers. Jeez. Now.
Well, you know, we're prepared to maybe offer a donation to the Blue Coat Benevolent Fund to maybe smooth things.
I see. I see. So, not to be rude, but what's in this for me, brother?
Well, I mean, there's I think the usual handling fee.
Okay. That sounds like Felix coming back in his room. So, so okay, yeah, that the usual handling fee is a coin. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
All right. So, I don't know. Has the team given you the full amount to pass on?
Nah, we've held some back. He's a rich man.
I'm assuming so. I wouldn't have come here without the coin, so.
Okay. So he takes the coin and stuffs it in his pocket of his waistcoat, his blue waistcoat, and he says to you, "All right, I'll take care of this. With these type of things, sooner is better than later." So he heaves himself up off, and he's a fairly big, portly gentleman, mutton chops and sort of balding. He's got a very high forehead, and he sort of cocks his sword back, which was sort of had been tilted forward and drags across the wooden floor a little bit. The bartender again rolls her eyes, and he shuffles out the door, blinks into the darkness as though it's sort of a little bit lighter than it should be, and then he says, "All right, leave it with me."
I'll head out with him.
And, all right. Well, there's only one way to go. You're going to cross the bridge together.
Yeah. Right.
So you guys walk across the bridge together, and at making small talk about just people you know and things that are going on. In fact, give me just 1 second. Let me see if he's got anything else, any tidbits he might pass your way. Let me double check. So I don't want to miss a chance to drop information. You know that Kellis? Rosalind?
Yeah.
Hear that she's gotten herself in the spark business.
That's interesting.
Naughty for a noble.
Yeah. Well, we don't necessarily get along very well.
I never did understand that. What was that about?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Oh, you don't have to say.
Well, yeah, it may have turned out that I may have thought her house was empty and stumbled upon her in her bedroom with maybe someone that she shouldn't have been.
Oh, say no more, say no more. Oh, that makes for a I just imagined Twitch stumbling. He's happy. So he turns off as you're facing down.
It's the way I want to be caught in a bedroom with another lady, with a woman. But
so he enjoys the story definitely, and with a jingle of your coin, he heads off into Brightstone. You can either follow discreetly, or you could turn and go towards the docks and rejoin your group.
I'm going to follow discreetly.
All right. So you see any other member of the crew that happens to be hanging around that area for you to come back across. So if any of you want to go with him while he is doing this shadowing, you may. Okay. So Pete, you head on across.
It's fair to say that with injuries plus other things, I'm probably
Fair enough.
The most discreet person on the planet.
Fair enough.
I'll chip along with him because I couldn't come into the pub because I'm banned.
Oh, awesome.
So I was just waiting outside.
So okay. So Record, you're on the opposite end of that. If you look at your Roll20, you're hanging out over at the end of this road. And after after Twitch separates from his buddy, you step out of the shadows you were standing and saunter over to him, and then the two of you guys follow. So he takes a couple of turns, and you can see that there's a sort of standalone building, a couple of floors. It's across from it. There's an alleyway that probably some kids burned some stuff in a little while ago, if you remember that portion of the story. And you can stand, you can walk past it, you can stand around. There's a decent amount of people out and moving around. There's commerce going on. There's a blue coat standing outside with his thumbs tucked into his wide black belt. He's got a truncheon, and he also has a short little stabby sword, and he has a little more bigger than a dagger, and he's got a little flat cap that's blue, and he's sort of just watching the crowd as they go by, leaning against the post that sort of holds up the porch on the second floor.
Okay, I'll just sort of slide into the alley so I can see the front door from there.
Okay,
Shadows.
so from the far side, you guys can secret yourself in there, and I'm not gonna make a roll for that because no one's really expecting anything and all that other stuff. We're not gonna torture you with a roll that could turn things crazy in a hurry. And you can see that there's a large individual, almost as big as Brute, who's sitting behind the desk, and behind him there's a cage that's sort of freestanding, and there's a lady who is sitting on the ground in there. Your contact comes in. There's some talking, and what we're going to wind up doing here is, just because I'm feeling, no, actually, they say if you pay it, you get it. So he pays the money, pushes it across, and
I had actually given him the name. Just so
yes, got it. The name of the lady.
I couldn't remember what the name was. What was it?
So it is. It is Madame Teslin, 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 of the Red Lamp.
Ruby Teslin, if I recall correctly.
Ah, yes. So he, the guy, there's a bit more talking, and you see your buddy reach into his pocket and pull out the pouch that you gave him. And that goes across too. And he goes, you can see he's making gestures like, oh, look, that's it. And the guy laughs and stands up, claps your buddy on the shoulder, and then turns around and goes over, big key ring on his side, pops the door open, says, "Get out!" And as this middle-aged lady, Scovlander, comes out, trying to keep what dignity she has, he boots her in the rear so that she stumbles and falls out of the door in front of the passerby to, further humiliate her, as he would like to do. She picks herself off, stands erect, brushes the dust off of herself, and walks off in a huff.
Okay.
She appears to have been roughed up, but not to the level that she is in need of medical attention. But she's got a black eye, split lip, and has been manhandled.
Okay, right. In that case, I'm gonna head back to the boat and let Brute know that
all right,
he's out, so he can kind of handle talking to her. And
all right,
how he wants to deal with that.
So we have
chat with her, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
See what I can do.
And so that may be part of some of the other things we're doing. And so I don't want to, we can always free play as long as we want. At the same time, we are sort of in this downtime period. And if you guys want to start taking your downtime actions, we can do that as well. And so with that, if you want to go sort of free play and sort of follow up with the madam, or if you want to do that as part of your going to see your sister, you can do that.
I'd like to follow up like that, but what I'd like to do first is get healed, because
so your first action is to
I'm super busted up.
So you'll see on your character sheet, but let me roll up there and I'll pull it up. You can see the clock that is there.
Mm-hmm.
For healing, you will need to fill that progress clock to go down a level.
What about What about using my physical? Can I try and heal him?
You have to have a physical to heal.
I've got physical.
Okay, and so we will add your. Actually, it is that roll. I'm pretty sure. If you guys want to double check on the healing, I'm pretty sure that you use the physicers.
Yeah, so everyone in your crew gets 1 plus D.
Okay.
To their healing treatment rolls.
Okay. So you can do the give him an extra dice, and he's gonna, I guess, make the roll, and we will see what happens. I mean, I'm really sad. I did not relook up the healing portion.
So I'm
John?
just having a look at it now, if that's okay.
Recovery.
Yes, so your healer, and in this case, because you've got Felix, because your character has, because Rekka has Physica, you roll Tinker. But for an NPC, you roll the quality level. Then you mark a number of segments on your healing clock. 1 to 3 is 1 segment, 4 or 5 is 2 segments, 6 is 3 segments, and a critical is 5 segments.
All right. Let's see what happens.
When you fill your healing clock, you reduce each instance of harm on your sheet by 1 level.
Okay.
So do I need to roll Tinker?
Tinker, yes.
So my Tinker I've got 2 dice for Tinker.
Okay.
But it says, but also I don't understand that, because it also says that everyone in your crew gets 1 plus D.
So we'll give that. We'll just do it. So take 3. Let's see what happens.
So is this position risky, controlled, desperate?
Oh, it isn't, but you'll just have to put something in there. So just put controlled and...
Controlled.
Yep.
And the effects?
It's standard. It'll work.
Okay.
All right, so we have a 6. That is 3, right, John?
So a 6 is 3 segments.
There you go. So you fill 3 segments with this activity. And remember, you can spend a coin for an extra activity during downtime as necessary, just as a thought. You have gone through 4 of those 8. I'm not sure exactly how much you had left. So you have filled up your clock a decent portion.
So we get 2 actions in downtime, or
yes, 2 actions,
and then you can spend points.
And then you can spend for more. Yes, sir. So, John, you've done your healing with Wrecker. So, Wrecker does just as good a job as you'd expect going to You've been, with your line of work, you've been to physicers before.
Oh, yeah.
So you're a little bit surprised for being such a, you guys are a low tier type of group, but he patches you up nice and well, and you feel comfortable that he hasn't like cut off the circulation anywhere, and your ribs are bound nicely, because I think we said broken ribs for your fall, which by the way was quite a big fall, so I think you actually got off fairly well.
I got 2 harm.
That is true, and those are hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
So, okay. And you know that you'll take a dice penalty with a 2nd level harm. So having that completely gone before your next would be sort of nice.
What is it that you can spend coin on in your downtime? Is it training?
No, you can spend it to get an extra downtime.
Okay.
Which you can use for training.
Yes. Okay. So we've done that for John. Let's move across then to so to Rob. Let's knock your first action out. How's your character doing? How's Set It? What does she need?
Said it's horny. She's doing all right. Well, the other said it's doing okay. She needs. She's been bandaged up and what have you, but I'm doing fine. I just need to de-stress. That's about it. Lose more XP. You know, not level up.
Okay.
Stay in the game.
I see.
Yeah.
So very interesting. So your particular vice is pleasure, and that is
certainly is
that
the
is
best
the
type.
That is exactly what you intend to do, is take care of business.
Indeed.
So a couple of folks are out. They're sort of watching where the blue coats are going, and they're doing their various different downtime events. When you come out and you see that your cat is once again being fed, and you've noticed that Set It the cat is putting on just a little bit.
Is that Vivienne that's doing it?
Oh yeah, it's Vivienne that's doing it.
Okay, I'll take it one side.
Okay,
and
so she says, "What? Just the kitty." And she reaches down and Set It rubs against her, very happy.
Yes, Vivienne, please. If you don't stop feeding the cat, I'm going to have to screw you till you cry tears. And I can get quite rough, darling.
With that, the two of you tumble into a room. The cat stays outside, guarding the door, which is really weird and disconcerting to others that are in this little bitty boat. In fact, the entire experience is a little bit because Set It's loud.
If the barges are rocking, don't come a knocking.
So with his loud activities, the rest of you go, you got to be kidding. And pretty quickly, the boat is vacated. Go ahead and make your roll to see exactly how your stress goes away.
Okay, so remind me again, because it's been a few weeks.
All right, no problem.
What do I roll?
Oh, go ahead. So what happens is, in indulging a vice, you wind up rolling one of the lowest attribute.
Oh, that's right.
So if you remember that line that goes down in front of the skills that you have. So what I'll do is
skills, insight, prowess, resolve. That one.
Yes. So
yeah. So I've got a line in front of
So
I've got survey and consort 1.
So what I'll do is I'll bring up your sheet
skirmish.
just so I can show some other folks your particular character sheet.
Might go for skirmish then.
If you see, this is how this works. So you see the word insight that is now red because I highlighted it.
Yeah.
You see prowess.
Yeah.
The two dots that are in front of this line are your insight. The two that are right here are your prowess. And right here is resolve 1. So you're actually going to click the word resolve, and that will roll your 1 dice. And so we can see what happens as far as losing some of that
Can I
stress.
take stress to add an extra bonus dice?
Funny.
Okay.
2. All right. So you have reduced your stress by 2.
Okay. So that leaves me with 3.
Okay. So with that understanding, we'll now scoot across to Wrecker. You've already helped out Brute and bound up his ribs. That guy has some scars in weird places. They're not medical scars. Some of them look Yeah, there's some puckered up places, like maybe he's been shot before. You think this guy's been through the grinder. But anyway, what do you do for your first downtime activity?
By the way, you counted a total of 13 different spots which you think might be gunshot wounds. That's just the gunshot wounds.
Is that a buckshot or?
Oh no!
Or rifle?
No.
Yeah, round ball. And they are at different levels of healing. Are they all at the same time, John?
He's somewhat quiet on that particular detail.
Very good.
It's the scratch marks that I'm more worried about.
Ah. Those are from the cat. Said it.
Yeah.
I would use the term gouge, but
okay.
Something quite a lot bigger than a cat.
Right. So I've only got 3 stress.
Okay.
I want to get this right. I can only roll 1 die if I needed to de-stress.
So
if I got 3, I would get rid of those 3.
Yes, you would.
If I rolled 5,
you're going to go.
I still get rid of the 3, but I
yes.
would overindulge. So there would be some consequence as well.
Yes, yeah? Absolutely.
Okay. So why not? Let's go for it then.
Okay.
50
so
chance.
What is your particular vice?
Well, last time it was drinking. Just fear.
So since you can't go to the same place, let's take a quick look at the well-known vice purveyors. And you can see that there's a number. Here's Martin Gull at the Leaky Bucket and Crow's Foot.
Can you share it?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Absolutely, we'll show it once I can get this to. There we go. How's that?
That looks good. Let's.
What about you go to Traven's Smoke Shop in Coleridge, and combine that with a little bit of a surveillance of this Drake Marn.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Just an idea.
We'll go that. We'll look for some mushroom smoke.
Absolutely.
Some of the trippy stuff, whatever that is.
Very good.
And maybe buy a pipe.
Absolutely. So the place is not too far away from Drake Marn's apartment block that he sort of has the top floor of this tenement that he's turned into his own home. The locals are largely Scovelanders. The wealth level is not incredibly high here in Coleridge. The building itself is half timber. You've got stone at the bottom, and then it goes up to some timber. About, I'd say it's 2 floors high, but you think that the proprietors live upstairs. As you go in, there is a bar. Numerous people sitting there, Scovelanders, are drinking. And you can see that off to the side, there's instead of having a restaurant area or a seating area, there are mats laid out.
Okay, so I'm going to see if there's any spare place to sit near the window, overlooking the place I'm staking out.
So you can't. Well, you can see it from here. Yeah, you can. Let's say that. If you prop yourself up on a stool over in the corner, you can just see the door. And so what we'll get out of that is I'll let you combine this with a gather information and ask a question. So go ahead and let's they bring over what looks like a hookah, and the paste that's on top of this thing smells earthy, and it smells like shit. It's gross. I can't say it any other way. However, once it burns and the smoke is passed through whatever liquid that they've got in this and bubbles around, the flavor's just a little bit like chewing on a mushroom that's raw.
Right. Well, we've got a 50% chance of this going completely wrong.
Absolutely.
Let's give it a shot. So just click on resolve then, yeah?
Yes.
No bonus dice?
No. Good to ask, though.
1.
Okay.
Didn't go too badly.
No, you take
So
away some stress, and you
Nice.
do not overindulge. You carefully toke on this thing. It is pleasant and euphoric. All the aches and pains of the day go away, and you feel particularly happy. And you watch across the way, and go ahead and what I'll say is, dun, 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 I'm going to say, I'm going to look here see if this is. No, it's not. So you can do a gather information roll. And let me bring this up so I can see where this is. Bum, bum.
What's the gather information on?
So what you can do is, this is something that would happen before a score. And I am looking it up right now so that I can not mess this up. The score, details of engagement roles. Where is my gather information? Come on. Oh, there it was. So gather information is part of the free play portion. And let me, so gathering information, what you do is you tell me something specific about the fictional world that you want to know. I will ask you how you gather information, and we already know that that's because you're staking out the front door. And we will, if it's common knowledge, I'll just tell you. However, if not, you're going to roll a die. And so you can tell me what you're going to roll for this gather. So like, command because you told people to do stuff, or if it's if you're doing it with prowl because you're being sneaky, whatever, you're going to make your roll, and then on a 1 to 3, you get some information. On 4 to 5, you get standard level of information, and on 6, I give you a whole bunch of information. So that's how that works.
If I didn't have any dots at all, then it's just 1 die, is it?
It's 2 die, take the lowest.
2 die, take the lowest. Okay. So I've got in sway, I've got 1 dot, so it'll just be 1 die, I guess.
So you're using sway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is sit at the window and talk to the people around me. I'll find the most chatty one. The one who's quite more likely to.
Most of the folks that are fairly, those that are not overindulging are chatty, but there are a good group that are not on what you're on. They're on trance powder, and those are the ones that are lying, twitching a little bit, and just lying there on their mattresses on the floor.
So
okay.
I'll find the chatty one, and I'm going to try and charm him.
Okay.
Maybe offer him the rest of my pipe.
So what is the question that you're asking?
What's the name of the house that we're staking out? What's the name?
That's an interesting question. No, it's a tenement. It doesn't have a particular name.
So I'm going to point out the tenement and say, are you aware of that house? Have you seen?
Yeah.
I've heard there's been some funny things going on there. Have you heard anything about it?
Huh? And he looks a little bit, cocks his head to think, and then go ahead and make a roll. Let's see what he comes up with. What is your question? What are you trying to get him to say?
Nothing specifically, just any information at all about that property and anything that's happened unusual recently.
Okay, fair enough. Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So, what can we give you here? So, he knows. I just got a work email. That's awesome. Anyway, he knows. He says, "Yeah, that one's a bit of a. That's a bit of a hard case on that particular building. Everyone who lives in there has to pay a fee to be protected by the guy who lives on the top floor. It's ridiculous. On top of their rent, they're paying this guy. And for what I hear, He extorts money from the owner of the building. He whispers, he's a blue coat. Says usually he's got 3 to 4 guys with him. He doesn't have family. He's a cruel cuss. He tends to come in here and other places and just grab people and take them up there. Not a nice man. I wouldn't go around that building if I were you. And then he says, typically during the hours of the broken, shattered sun, he's not there. It's down to one. He leaves one guy there who he pays as a local, not a blue coat, just to keep an eye on things so nobody gets uppity and starts messing with his stuff. So that's what you get. So
Okay.
you got some stress relieved, and you got some information.
Okay. Are those 2 actions, or
that's one action?
So can I just train in something else, and then I'll go back and tell the others?
So what I'd like to do is move through the others. I'll come back for your second. Is that okay?
Okay. Fine. Yeah. So I'll go back and tell everyone.
Okay. So you head out. You find that even though you felt like you weren't getting a big hit, your sense of balance is way off. Right. And so you make your way back, but it takes a little bit longer than you would have liked. Okay. So, Pete or Mara, who wants to go first out of your group there?
Well, I mean, I'm quite simple, so I'm going to be training for my first action.
Okay. So, what do you do to train, and what are you training in?
I'm going to train my playbook advancement.
Are you? Okay. That is really cool. So what do you do to train yourself? I'm just interested.
Interesting one, because I haven't picked yet what I want to use those points for. So
it can be generic.
I would say what's going to happen is Twitch is going to mysteriously disappear. Then we can possibly address that with a flashback.
I love it. That's great.
I picked up what I want to do with it.
I love it. So that's great.
We can have like a little flashback montage of him.
Absolutely, the training,
which is just going to come out mysteriously at some.
They'll play the A-Team theme too. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. At the end where he runs up a set of steps. And it's done to the top, puffing and puffing.
Yeah. Absolutely. They'll probably make a statue of that. Okay, so with that said, you get an XP, just like that.
Yep.
And we should probably have done the XP before we moved on, but we'll do that when we're finished. So Pete, with yours done, Mara Moon, what are you going to do?
Well, I would like to indulge in my advice again. I want to revisit Salia. I want to go there to indulge my advice from the start, but equally, I'm looking to gain some information about this demon that attacked me, and and this innocent that was sharing in a moment with the reconciled. So I'm going for 2 purposes. A, to indulge my vice a little bit, but equally to see if I can gain some information about the demon, who the demon is.
Absolutely. I love it. So let's do that. How do you attempt to contact Salia? What is your methodology?
Well, I kind of know some of the places having that she likes to hang out and haunt.
Okay. You at least know one that you've seen her before. Yeah. I would say that even though that was sort of a first time adventure, because if we think about this Salia you met, who is a member of the Reconciled and is a possessor, is actually not the one who's on your sheet. The one on your sheet, Nyrex, is a possessor spirit that I think you may have gone out to meet, but instead you winded up with Salia. So you have two possessor spirits that you are now talking to and using to help you with your downtime vice of studying and learning everything you possibly can about the spirit world.
Yep.
So you know one place you've seen Salia, and Salia was definitely took off in a hurry because of what happened. And for those of you who didn't see last time, that was one of the more exciting of the downtime events. That's for sure. And she may be hunted by whatever is going on. We'll see. So how would you go about trying to reach this particular spirit?
I think I'm going to be, as I say, starting in places where I met them last.
Okay.
Looking at other spirits around and
Okay.
gingerly where the flow is going, where they're moving.
So back you go
Yeah.
into Brightstone, correct?
Yeah.
And not too long later, you are standing, and so for those who are wondering where Brightstone is, I'll do this really quickly. Just across from where our folks are at the docks is Brightstone. They happen to be well liked, if you see over here, by the citizens of Brightstone for some reason that we haven't completely established. And that is also sort of their hunting ground as far as some of the things they do. So in Brightstone, you now are at the end of the you're on the broad street, looking down that alley. So we're going to make this canon that there is no weirdness to putting on a spirit mask. People might, glance at you just to see what it looks like, but no one's going to freak out if someone is wearing a spirit mask in this particular town.
Yep.
Okay? So if you want your spirit mask on and you're looking that way,
definitely want my spirit mask on. Yep.
All right. So you have your spirit mask on. And what color is that again? I've heard the description, but I never got the colors.
You bear me 2 seconds.
Oh, that's fine. Well, it's not that important. I was just curious.
Yeah. Very similar to this.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh. That is that's mighty fine. I love it. And that actually came fairly clear. Very good.
Yeah, it comes clear every now and then.
Wonderful.
Let's see if I can get rid of the blur. Hang on.
Yep. Hey Felix, is there any chance you can put on your video, or is that verboten to do? Okay. Let's see. So oh, look at this. Ooh,
That's awesome.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's the sort of thing that my mask looks like. It's horns and
nice.
teeth.
That's neat. And on your slight
burgundy color.
Ooh.
Horns in there.
And on your slight frame, I'm sure that looks oversized and scary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, you're looking back down that alley. There is a spirit in there, just that seems to be one of those loop type spirits that's just sort of going through probably its death throes over and over and over. But you don't see Salia.
Okay. I'll move along along the shadows down the street, down the alley.
Okay. You pass the deep shadows where that demon lurched out at you guys last time. And it's at this point that you recognize that the spirit that's doing the loop is the lady that you were talking to that had been possessed.
Oh, right, okay.
And for some reason, the particular ministry that takes care of the spirits must not have gotten there in time or messed up somehow, because her spirit is still in the loop right there. This is not, they don't often mess up, but, you know, it is what it is.
Can I talk to her? Can I communicate with her?
Absolutely. So we'll just have a positive attune here. I'm not going to, since there's no real risk to you or anything else. Let's say that you attune to the spirit field and are able to communicate. You see that as you attune, the loop stops, which was sort of leaning against a wall, and then you see the jerky motion and then the falling to the ground. And that just keeps replaying over and over. And you can remember when you were standing right next to her when she was being possessed. Okay?
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you say?
I'm going to ask this soul.
Okay.
Do you know who did this to you? Do you know the demon that did this to you?
I do not. And you're used to that weird hollow sound that is a ghost voice.
Yeah.
And she says, "But I do know who is in me. I blame her. Celia."
Why do you blame her? She drew the demon to you?
She did. I was fine going about my business of the day. And then things went wrong. And her voice just goes between different varying sounds.
Do you know where Salia is to be found?
Psha. You seek Salia. Salia is known. Says, you do not know, but I thank you for breaking my prison. Says, Salia is known. And then she just skitters off. You have somehow broken the loop that she was in, and she is now a spirit to join the others that haunt this haunted town.
Okay. At least she's been broken free from her.
Okay.
Her loop.
So to cut a long story short, you do the same type of thing around town, and the name Salia is known. Other spirits are fairly cagey about why, but the parts that you pick up are that the very fact that she's part of this group, this reconciled,
Yeah.
because somehow they have managed to avoid the inevitable insanity of all spirits that are forced to wander. And it's at that moment that the butcher shop across the street, and there's not a lot of butcher shops because there's not a lot of animals, but you're back in Brightstone. There's a portly man walks out. He's got blood on his apron, and he's holding a cleaver. And he looks very odd stepping out into the street from his place of work, but he walks directly to you and says what you have heard before. I can tell you secrets. And you recognize the voice.
Is this the voice of the spirit I heard in?
Celia has found you.
Who is Salia? Who is this demon that follows you and kills?
I can tell you secrets. And she backs into the butcher shop, which is there's one person who's being served by someone at the counter. The person at the counter looks a little bit surprised. If you follow, this gentleman will lead you into the back room.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
The back room, there is a partially dismembered cow. Very unusual, very expensive for the type of stuff that these people in Brightstone can afford. And you can tell that he has been busily at work disassembling this cow. And it's about halfway done. And there are, the floor has been specially designed to, with runnels to pull the blood out and down to where there's a sink that drops down below the building, probably into the sewers. And it smells of the offal that are there because this is not like a prepared cow that was there. This is a full up cow. In the corner are the innards that he's already pulled out. But immediately he presses you against the wall and leans in tight to start this strange whispering again that is euphoric. And go ahead and roll for your stress.
So what again? Sorry, what exactly am I rolling on this?
So what you're doing is why did I just forget that?
Is it resolved?
It is. Is it the action that she takes, or it's not, or is it just a D6? It's just a D6. It's just a D6. That's
D6.
right. Absolutely. I apologize. How in the world did I do that? So it's a D6 versus and we'll just everything you roll is off of your stress. If you go over, then things get weird.
Okay. D6. Here we go.
See what happens. 3. What does that do to you?
That reduces me from 6 down to 3.
Oh, wow. So you could have rolled anything.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good. So you are down to 3 on your stress. You finished your first piece here. But as you sort of come out of the eyes rolling in the back of your head, the silver eyes rolling into the back of your head,
yeah,
and the strange pieces of information that just claw at the very edge of your consciousness. You think maybe with a good sleep, you could maybe sort them, or maybe they'll come to you at the right time. You're not sure, but you just can't quite hold on to them into your conscious mind. But whatever the case, this man leans in again, and his breath is foul, and he says to you, Mara, beware Argos, the pitiless. He is angered with you and searches. Beware. He takes his joy from killing the second death, those of us of the reconciled. And then, like that, this guy is now standing next to you, and he looks around, and you can tell he's absolutely shocked. Number one, he's standing against the wall, staring at this mask. He makes a squeak like a little girl who's had her dad jump out of the closet thinking he's funny. And he moves back, even though he's got his cleaver. What? And you're in his office, in his workspace. What do you say? What do you do?
I'm basically going to say to him, it is a beautiful cow. Those are beautiful chunks of meat that you have there, but I cannot afford them. Thank you for showing me, though. I think I should take my leave. But
what?
Thank you.
What? And he looks dumbfounded as you walk out of the room. All right. So we're back to the second. Is it second time activity for you now, John? Brute? Is it your second downtime
Sorry,
activity?
yes, it is. Yeah,
All
apologies. My mic for some reason was struggling.
No
to come on.
problem.
So I click it and it takes about 3 seconds before it enables, and then of course I click it again thinking it's not enabled, and then it turns it straight off again.
Oh yeah. The joy.
Yes, it is my second. So
what do you want to do?
It's time to alleviate some stress.
Very good. I do want to point out that you guys' heat is ridiculous. I think you've got healing and you've got stress to get rid of, and you've got plenty of things. In fact, I would probably expect you guys to burn a little money tonight. But anyway, with that said, let's do this. Let's get rid of that heat or that stress. What is your vice?
Well, my vice is dealing with my sister.
That is right.
A desire for the deep devotion of bonds of family, and that means the first thing I'm going to do is pay my sister a visit, and that coincides nicely with the
yes, it does.
Lady who my colleagues have just ably rescued.
All right. So you make your way across to Silk Shore. For those of you that are watching, you can see the docks are up here. And you can either hire a boat or you can just walk, which is cheaper, down through Crow's Foot and across the main bridge that goes into Silk Shore.
I saunter, as per usual.
Absolutely. And you can see in Crow's Foot, which is renowned for its gangs and everything else, you move through and they step aside. And you are now into Silk Shore, which is very different than Crow's Foot or the docks. Very unique in its way. It has many more canals and some beautiful buildings that are in a state of disrepair in many places. Some of them actually are not. Some of them are really fine. But almost all of them have something to do with the pleasure industry. Whether it's substances, whether it's companionship, whatever it is that's for sale, it's found here in Silk Shore. All right. So you make it to the Red Lantern. And as you step towards the front door, you can see through it. It's a sort of stained glass looking front door. It's been broken. Someone has ruined this beautiful piece. And on the far side of it, you can see the proprietress. She is down on one knee and she is sweeping pieces of glass up into a dustbin.
Ruby, my darling.
Wondered when I'd see your face.
I hear times have been more difficult recently.
Yes, you could say that. She looks up at you with her black eye.
Are you making a strong recovery there, my darling?
I've had worse days. She
just nose on your side.
She stands up stiffly. Who's on your side? Was that your coin? Is that what you're trying to say?
It was.
That's a gentlemanly thing to do. Come here.
Wow.
She walks over to the bar and pours you a very healthy portion of aquavit. And then she sits on her stool behind the bar with a sigh. Oh, boy.
Tell me how you ended up in that cell. The same cell as my sister. Not 3 days ago.
They came with the questions. Brute. They wanted to know where Polonia was.
Safe, I assume.
She may be here, she may not. There's been some further developments in her issue. She's taken to trance powder, too.
Has that boy been supplying, or is it someone else?
He hasn't been back.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. I had a little word in his mother's shell, like, you know.
But I'll tell you,
She'll help
your
I'll help
sister has been desperate to score. She's been worried about money like I've never seen. She's losing weight too.
Yeah, it's not good for a girl.
She may be
Really
up.
not good.
She may be in her room. She may be out. We can't keep track of her now.
Well, I need to do something about that. I might need your help with that, and I hope that our relationship continues to be mutually beneficial. Just a quick reminder, Ruby, I did say that I really needed you to keep an eye on my sister. I'm going to hold you to that.
I
All
hear
right.
you. And she points to her black eye. I didn't tell. I didn't snitch.
Nah, you're a good girl. Well done.
Now give her a check. See if she's there. If she is, tell her she's got food.
All right.
She
So
shakes her head.
stalk up the stairs.
Okay.
Moving quiet for a big fella.
It's got the carpet that's held with little brass bars, keep it in place up the wooden stairs. It does turn once, and then you're up onto a higher second floor because there's a lot of headspace down on the first floor or the ground floor for folks that live in the UK. And yeah, and the doors even on this one are fairly tall. This was a fine building at one point. You know your sister's is the far end of the hall. You've hated having to lurk all the way down several times where you've heard things you didn't really want to hear, especially going to see your sister. You're in front of the door.
Remarkably, he's actually quite sanguine about
Very
her
good.
trade.
Very good.
Because his trade is not exactly the most straight-laced of them all.
Absolutely.
So he's actually pretty relaxed about
it. Pretty settled. She's making a living. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
An honest one at that, as far as he's concerned, anyway.
So you're in front of the door. These are stout wooden doors that can be locked from the inside. Though you know that with the right press on the door handle, it'll pop open. That's designed on purpose to help protect some of the young ladies.
Just a little listen at the door. Quiet.
She's crying inside. You know her voice.
Okay. That double rap with my knuckles are the kind of drumming rap. She'll know it's me.
Drum. Absolutely. Yeah. Go away.
Okay, I'm just walking in.
Okay, so you do the little push on the door. It was locked. It pops open. And she's sitting on the edge of her bed. She's more thin and gaunt, waifish than you remember. The bruising under her eyes is pronounced. You can see where her lower cut breast, her collarbone is really pronounced. And she's got a little bit of bruising here and there, but that sometimes comes with the job. But
go
ahead.
Close the door gently behind me.
I wish they hadn't shown you how to do that.
You know that door wouldn't hold me anyway, my darling, would it?
No, never did.
Listen, gorgeous girl. I got it. I understand that life is hard. I try and help you out from time to time, deal with things. But this is one I don't understand.
She looks hopeful all of a sudden for a second when you say that.
Just go breaking legs. That's not going to work this time, is it? Knocking a few heads together, neither is that.
I owe money.
I go and I sit down on the bed next to her. And as I sit down, there's this almighty creak as the
absolutely.
The just sort of flexes.
And as usual, it makes her lean in towards you. She puts her head on your shoulder, and she whispers, "I owe money."
Money we can deal with.
It's Ulf Ironborn.
Is it?
I borrowed money from his thugs. Just trying to take the edge off, you know?
Here's the thing. You need to get through this and out the other side, and that's difficult. If you'd have come to me in the first place, I'd have helped you through that. I'll do anything for you.
He was such
But
a
here's
pretty
the thing.
He was such a pretty boy.
Yeah, he won't be bothering you again. Don't worry. His mother, on the other hand, she could be a good friend to us in the future.
I hear you.
You know,
What do we
some
do?
people, when they're climbing back up the ladder, they remember those they've left down below. Sometimes it's useful too. The ones down below are holding the ladder. You get me?
I get you, bro.
All right. So here's what we're going to do.
What are we
You're
going
going
to
to
do,
tell me about
Volo?
Ulf. You're going to tell me how much you owe. You're going to tell me how much he's asking for. Because those two figures are going to be different.
Yes, they are.
Right.
Well,
Second thing you're going to do is you're going to get yourself cleaned up. That means you can't work for a few weeks. Well, more's the pity. But Ruby will give you space and time and allow you to heal. If you need help with that, if you need to go somewhere, then you tell me.
copy, and I got you, Rob. Your message. She says, I really don't think there's anything wrong. I was on top of everything, but just couldn't get the pay in time back. You know, I'm sure everything's fine. I don't need to do anything crazy.
Here's the thing. What you need to do is you need to find your way out of the maze you've become trapped in. Now, I don't want to have to come all big brother all over you, you know? I don't want to have to tuck you under my wing and keep an eye on you for a few weeks or a few months. You're a big girl. You can do it on your own. You've got plenty of people to help you around here, and you'll always have me on call. Me and my crew. My crew. Good boys, good girls, solid folk, trustworthy. You got me?
I need a crew. She says, I thought Thielen was going to be my crew.
Yeah, that little whippet.
Says
he's very, very lucky he's still alive. If it wasn't for what he needs to be bringing into his own family and what his family can do for us, he wouldn't be. So,
well, when he disappeared, that's when I went looking and got in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's when I borrowed
You need to stay off the streets. You need to stay off the streets because if you don't, blue coats are going to pinch you.
They're looking for me.
I'm sure there's plenty of blue coat traffic comes through here. Ruby's going to be reporting on every last bit of that for me. She's going to be keeping me abreast of all of the blue coats and all of the lordships that come through here. So, can you do it? Can you get yourself healed? Can you get yourself clean? Can you do it for me and for yourself?
Says I owe this Ulf 3 coin, but I'm sure by now it's gone up.
Leave Ulf to me.
And when she says that number, you can tell it's something that's so astronomical she can't even imagine that she's actually voicing it. Because for her, it might take weeks, months to earn a coin.
Right.
So she's admitting that she's 3 to 4, maybe 5 months pay in arrears, with the interest going rapidly.
Right. So I'll leave you to it, and as I come back downstairs, I say to Ruby,
I
need one of your runners just to keep me abreast of all the blue coat traffic that comes through here.
Fair enough.
I need names, positions. You do that for me?
I can do that. And she taps the little hand tap on the tabletop. It's not for any coin, full coin, whatever, but you need to throw some silver pennies on there to make her happy.
Yeah. I don't actually throw the mine.
Okay.
I just hold out my hand, my empty hand, and then I reverse my hand over, and then clench my fist, and then just drop a pile onto the table.
When you say a pile, are we getting towards a coin, or are we just talking about
No. It's like, I mean, how many coins in a?
It's a non-defined.
How many things in a? Yeah, so it's like about 5.
Okay.
Silver coins.
It's a good chunk of change, and she's happy.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. So
well.
she's pleased. And says, "Yep, we'll let you know if the blue coats are around and all of that. But are you going to get her to eat? Is she going to eat?"
She's thinking on things. She'll be down.
All right. Very good. And you can now satisfy your stress, John. You have quasi taken care of this problem set. So let's see what happens.
Well, the next thing is to find Ulf and deal with that issue. We can leave that for another time if you like.
Absolutely. Yes. So let's work on the and seeing how your stress goes in your this particular downtime. 2. All right. You pulled 2 off. So you have a partially full clock for healing, and you probably have, if I remember right, a decent chunk of stress. Did you have more than 6 stress?
I did.
Copy. So now you're in an interesting situation where you need to decide and talk to your crew about how you guys decide to spend any of that extra money to get yourselves to a position that you are able to do another score. So what we'll do is I think we've all had 2. Is that correct?
Nope.
We've missed Rob's second. I apologize.
I've had 2. I don't
You've
think
had
anybody
2.
else has had 2.
No one else has had 2.
Nope.
Okay, I apologize. Rob, you're up.
Oh, okay.
You see, sometimes you can forget things, and it's usually Rob.
Yep. Easy to forget, you see. It's the dragon in me. I cast those mystics enchants all over you. I'm going to train.
Very good. I'm excited about that. Let's see. What are you going to do? What are you going to put it in? All right, and
I'm going to go and hunt, and that's what I'm going to train.
Very good.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Gaddock rail station.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick out a. I'm going to pick out a target at random.
Very good.
Okay. And basically, I'm going to try and be as stealthily as I can, which is kind of using prowl as well as hunting to try and track them back without them noticing.
Okay.
Which is kind of what I do.
Very interesting. So what happens is the steam electroplasm driven electrified train that is pulled in from one of the other big cities on the island. People are disembarking. One of them looks a teeny bit familiar just in the movement of their body. And that one attracts your attention, and so you start following. Okay?
Yeah. When you say it attracts my attention because of the movement of the body,
yep.
In what way? Sensual or
no?
Or professional?
It's almost like you've seen this before. And immediately they try to shake you.
Okay. Okay. So I need to roll a.
I think we're probably going to have to do a roll on this to because this person is using all the tricks in the book to throw you off.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a prowl skill because that's to move about unseen and traverse obstacles and things like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So is it risky, controlled, desperate?
It's you can't tell if this guy is dangerous or not. You actually can't tell if he's just doing all of these maneuvers just to be careful or if it's because he knows that you're following him. But whatever the case, we're going to put this as a risky with a standard effect. If you do it, you're going to be able to follow. All right. So you are following 5. Absolutely.
Okay.
So
and then do you want me to roll a location and movements? Gather information about this.
No. So this will cover this. So what you've done is you have a success with a complication of some sort. Up front, you're not quite sure what this complication is. But the movements become even more erratic. You think maybe that the good tradecraft this guy was displaying was just good tradecraft, but now he thinks he's being followed. He may not know who's following, but he may think he's being followed. He works his way up through Char Hollow and onto this little island right here, and he takes a quick jog over to Chart Hall, and you see that he runs down to one of these little docks right here and jumps onto a gondola and goes back across into Char Hollow and then up. And you follow as best as possible. That you have had your success, so you are following. And then he moves into Brightstone, and you see he is on the bridge to White Crown. And at this point, you recognize who this is.
Okay.
You have not seen this person in a while. And so this will be an interesting little one right here. Who you see, and I was got to the right page on my OneNote. It's Costa.
Oh, you should have told me. I would have shot the bastard.
So Costa is back in town.
That's nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble.
So how do you know Costa? What has caused this? I'm very interested, and so are probably everyone that's watching online. None of them.
He screwed me, literally, in both senses of the word.
Oh.
We were. It all started with a job. We're both bounty hunters.
Yes.
So our paths crossed. He was a charming little shit, and made the right sounds, the right twinkles of the right eye. Really did pull on the old heartstrings. I didn't fall for it one bit, but
of course not.
No, I still slept with him. Anyway, one thing led to another, and he double-crossed me.
Yeah.
He broke my legs and left me for dead, and that's where I came across Said It, of all things.
That's interesting. Really? So we're going to get an origin story for Said It, everybody. Wow. Let's hear this.
Okay, so it was just outside a little farm town, and where the double cross actually happened, and Said It was well, you've seen her. Okay, I've described it. She's feline, but with scales. She didn't fit in anywhere. Okay, she is an anomaly of the demon spawns, and I was basically left for dead in the ditch, and she managed to drag me out, and basically, she brought food, albeit fruits. She seemed to have an intelligence behind those red eyes. She just loved curling up, and she just kept me warm until I was able to be found.
Interesting.
And she never left my side since. And since then, we've gotten closer, myself and Said It, that is. And as I've gotten stronger and more attuned in my skills, we've developed a well. I think she's actually initiated the bond that we've got.
Very good.
Because I wouldn't know how to do that.
Very interesting.
And yes, so she's a special feline, definitely. I've not come across any other that can communicate with me.
Very interesting. So she is a strange creature. She's not one that looks like almost anything in this town. There are some weird shaped creatures, that's for sure. Just because of the way that everything works here. The influence of the electroplasm is not beneficial as much as it does allow the growing of crops and the humanity to continue with the lightning towers to keep the undead out and all that. It's still a negative influence that applies across the board. However, you are correct in thinking that she does not appear just sort of wrong. She appears to have been constructed the way she was constructed on purpose. Whether that means she's a little bitty demon or something else, you just don't know. That might come that might come out at some point.
Yeah, I mean, she, convalescing, and the only thing that I know of her is that she's hunted in the Deathlands.
Yes.
That and I think I don't know how she got into Doscotval at all.
Yeah.
I would imagine she hitched a ride on the train
Easily.
through the barrier. But yeah, I mean, she doesn't really speak of much. But humans, people haven't actually treated her very nicely, even while she's been in there. So, I think she's kind of fell on her feet, bless her.
Gotcha.
Apart from Vivienne, who keeps overfeeding her.
Absolutely. So you can see ahead that this particular gentleman, Costa, and he looks a little more distinguished. He's picked up a little gray at his temples. He was older than you to begin with. But he walks with that same confidence that turned the head back in the day.
Yeah.
He uses the bridge to try and isolate a tail. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he does a little bit of looking off the bridge at the whaling ships, those that go out and attempt to spear those giant leviathan out and to drain the blood to bring back to turn into electroplasm. He sits there for quite a while waiting to see who's moving, who's not moving. And it takes some effort because you have to go all the way past in the crowd and not get clocked. And he does. So you are waiting on the far end when he does a couple of double backs, and then he comes off the bridge and then turns into town. And he goes to one of the big buildings. It's a octagon-shaped tower that tries to rival the palace. And you know this is Lord Skurlock's residence. And with a rap on the door, he's about to go in.
Shit. Okay, I stop that and I get back and I need to speak to everyone, more so the brute.
So, evidently, your buddy has found himself a new patron. I wonder what a bounty hunter would be called in from another city, a renowned bounty hunter. That's interesting. Okay.
The only thing that I can think of is our good friend there.
Okay, how do we get here? You were doing something for your downtime.
Hang on.
Yeah, that's my training for my downtime.
Your training. Perfect.
Sorry, you think that just because I was the one in the room that I'm the only one who's going to be targeted?
Unless he's actually seen us. Well, actually, if no, because you were the one in the room, he'll know us all by association.
Oh yeah.
So the only thing that we can do is set a little trap for Castor and remove him from play.
Interesting.
Can I put a? Can I tick my my hunt up, please?
So what you tick, and remember on your character sheet, and I'll jump to yours really quick so everybody can watch you do it, and I'll show the player here. So what you're ticking is in where you see the flags on by insight. You will click one of those. Okay, so you click that flag, and it will turn red. And when those are filled, you'll get a new dot. There you go. So you have trained. All right.
Perfect.
Now, that was number 2, and I thought that was actually fairly fun, because you did a training and you got information at the same time. Wonderful.
I did.
Wrecker.
Get an extra XP for that.
Absolutely. No, get that one. Okay, Wrecker. Way to try and pull that over.
Okay, so I'd like to do some training too.
Okay. So, by the way,
I'd like to train in insight.
Insight. Okay. How do you do that?
I want to increase my tinkering. So my plan is to find either I'm thinking about finding someone who I may have been associated with in the past, who's also a leech. They may have access to some saves I can practice on.
Here's what happens. You head out one evening. Remember, it's always dark, but the fragments of the sun have just gone below the horizon. You feel the haunted feel of this area, and it makes your skin crawl. But you move forward rapidly off the docks and are going to find who you're trying to find. When you hear, hey, buddy, and you look over, and lo and behold, it's those damn teenagers that you did the parkour training with. Hey, we've been looking for you.
How can I help?
One of them sitting there smoking a rolled up little cigarillo thing. Who knows what's in it? And the female with the half-shaved head and all the piercings is leaning back against one of the pilings of the area there by the docks. And the big brute boy is actually vomiting, which is really gross. You don't really know why. And then, but the skinny whip-like character who you actually sort of had a little bit of connection with says, "Old man, we got a favor to ask." Says, "You're one of them folks that works with stuff. Could you make us a one of them alchemical thingies?"
Okay, well, what are you looking for?
We want something that makes people poop themselves really badly. They all laugh except for the one who's vomiting.
Why would you want this, and how are you going to use it?
Old man questions. Come on. We just want to know if there's an alchemical that you could make that would do this for us.
There is, yeah.
This is a favor. And by the way, if you do this, Felix, it is training.
It's training. Yep, I can help with that.
Okay. They're like, awesome. They're all like high-fiving each other. And one of them does the whole stupid thing where they jump and do a flip in the air and land back on their feet. That, makes your back hurt just watching it. And they're like, yeah.
Obviously, there are a few conditions.
What? We helped you.
No, that's absolutely. I understand that, but the conditions are that you don't use it on any of my associates.
Okay, that sounds fair. They look at each other. That sounds fair enough.
And I have to use my workshop to have a go at this.
We understand it's not overnight. I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you will meet us where we did the stuff before.
Okay. And is there anything you could do for me?
We already did for you. We trained. We helped you learn all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Well, I'll help. I'll train for that. I'll see you in a day or two.
All right. So that's really cool. And so once again, we're almost doing two things at once. In that, let me see, crafting. Let me try and find this in the book because I want to see how this actually works. It might be off of your type of character off the sheet. Leech. That'll probably help. So, so basically, you think you could probably do it, and there's probably what we'll do, Felix, is we will set a 4-segment clock that is you making this, okay?
All right.
And so what I'll do is I'm just going to copy one of these guys here and go paste. And here we go. And it'll be empty. And it's going to be Felix makes the poop juice. All right. So you can make a roll against that with your tinker. And come on. Choose side.
It's controlled.
Okay. Absolutely. It's controlled with. It'll be standard. Absolutely. If you make it work, it'll work.
So making a laxative.
Yes, you are. A fast-acting laxative. Okay, so that's 2, correct, John? Five.
What's 5?
Yep.
Is it? Sorry, what's he making the tinker roll for?
For filling up a 4-segment clock.
Yeah, that's 2 segments.
All right, so you're halfway done with this, Felix.
Okay.
But you do get your training off of this.
Great. Okay. That's me.
And who knows what these yahoos are going to do with that. And how you're involved.
Poop juice!
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they're going to be talking about that. About Wrecker and his poop juice. Everybody's, oh, yeah, he's going to be famous. Okay.
That's good old clean crap.
Yeah. Okay, Twitch, Mara, who wants to go?
Yeah, I'll go. So,
very good.
I don't like how much heat we have at the moment, so I'm going to try and reduce our heat.
Very good. That's a really, really good idea. Okay, so how do you propose you do that?
Right, so I think, a lot of the most of the heat we had came from our last score. So,
okay.
Lord Skurlock are paying attention to us.
Yeah.
So I want to divert that attention.
That's interesting. How do you propose to do that?
So what I want to do is I want to put it out there that this whole rescue attempt was actually the idea of another lord or lady.
Okay, and who do you try and pin that on?
Well, if I can implicate Lady Rosalind Kellis.
Oh, very interesting.
So a couple of ways into that one, I was thinking either directly, or the fact that I know that she is having an affair.
Yes, you do.
Other lord. So I'm thinking maybe if there is I mean, we need to come up with a name for another lord that she was having the affair with.
Well, so Rob, excuse me, Pete. Here's how I'm going to do that. What's the name of the lord she was having the affair with?
I don't know one at the moment.
How about
do you have anything in particular in mind, or
how about Kellis, Maine? I just made that up. Yep. So Lord Kellis, Maine was having an affair.
Her name is Rosalind Kellis.
Oh, damn it! That's what happens when you think you're being creative. Okay, so how about Roderick?
Roderick Maine, yeah.
Roderick Maine. Okay. So Roderick Maine was having an affair with Kellis.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
Either, I mean, I don't want to make this up out of, make this rivalry up out of nothing. Mm-hmm. So if either of those two have an outstanding beef with Lord Delvar or Lord Skerlock, that would be ideal.
So.
But if they don't,
you know what? Luck. Here's what we do. This is a luck roll. That's perfect. 1 through 3, they don't. Above, there is something that you can play off of. Okay. And we'll figure out what it is. Okay. There's something there. What do you think is the beef between Delvar and this particular person? Roderick Maine.
Let's see. What do we got? We got potentially business, love rivals.
What if Lord Delvar happened to be in a bit of a triangle with Kellis?
Yeah.
Neither one of their spouses know.
No.
But this Kellis works the angles.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
This sounds good. Okay.
I like it. So let's say Delvar and Roderick both were rivals for the affection.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is put Roderick in the frame.
Okay.
For the
so he was somehow wanting to humiliate his buddy.
Yes.
Gotcha. So the word you're putting out on the street is there was a group that was hired by this guy to humiliate the rival.
Yes.
Oh, and let's see.
To pull this off, Valeris in front of Lord Skerlock.
Oh, my word. It completely humiliated him.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So because of how absolutely near to truth that is, I think that's going to stick pretty well. But let's see what happens when you roll your heat.
Yep.
Brilliant.
I believe it's a D6 again.
It is. It is an action. Wait. It's an action.
Oh, is it?
Stop. Yeah. So you can choose your action on how you do this. So you're going to be able to roll more than one dice. So ignore that dice. Everybody ignore it. And so whatever your action is for spreading this rumor.
Okay, let's have a look.
Well, actually, for discovering in the first place and spreading. So you can do all sorts of stuff.
It's not going to be one of those. It's probably going to be a survey roll.
That's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll do that old survey roll. Absolutely.
I've only got one dice in it.
But it is what it is. But you see how it reduces heat?
Yeah.
And it's not like you're going to take a penalty if you get... So, yeah.
So, control?
Yes, absolutely. Controlled, standard, all that stuff to make it go ahead and go through. 3. So you remove only 1 heat. So for some reason, there's a little bit of resistance to taking on this rumor. And you don't know, you've got a suspicion that Kellis has worked all of these folks you were trying to work with, you were trying to work through probably some of the scullery maids and some of the other stuff so that it would sort of come out and appear normal. There's been some coin spread amongst a lot of the servants of these different lords, and you smell the hand of Kellis behind this. However, you do remove 1 heat.
Yeah, and it's something we can possibly build on in future.
Absolutely can build on that. That's very interesting. Wow. Okay. So we had another really interesting downtime activity, could lead to some very interesting complications. And we're back to the brute who's had to. And you guys need to decide, are you going to burn through your coin and try and do some healing and heat taking off and anything else before you decide that you're done with that type of stuff?
Can I just check? Has everybody's had 2? What about Christine?
Christine hasn't. I'm so sorry. Thanks, John. And see, Rob, you're not the only one getting forgotten. Everyone's getting forgotten.
Because she's not on camera.
Yeah, but yeah.
Poor Christine.
I'm easy to
Poor
forget.
Christine.
Yeah. Oh
no,
gosh.
you're not. Don't you
That's
listen
how
to them.
Mara likes it. She likes leaking up, sinking.
Oh yeah.
So,
You should pay to have a third go to make it even longer.
Hey, are you mad at her because she had that awesome last time with the demon chasing her and everything else? Okay. It is interesting because in crew play, or in the score play, it's everyone together. Uh-oh, Felix disappeared. You okay, Felix? And in the downtime play, it's largely one at a time, which makes it sort of, you have to wait for everybody to go through it. So as long as the story is at least halfway decent, that's good. But otherwise, it probably could get a little bit boring. So, all right, Mara, tell us what you're doing with this second.
Okay, so I'm actually looking to do a bit of training.
He's got set it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm looking to do a bit of training.
Okay.
In my insight and study, I need information on this this demon that
Okay.
I've been given information on. So this.
So you're going to do some study.
So I'm going to do some studying they
yep.
have libraries and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
They'll have
absolutely. And so if you think about, I'm trying to see if there's anything over here that shows it. Scores, rumors. That would be too easy if that was here. In the book itself, we talk about the education or the institutions of. Come here. I'll find the one I want. Academia. So on page 251. So the College of Immortal Studies, the Duskval Academy, right? And that is, I think both of those are in Chart Hall area. Or, well, let me see. Can't remember where Duskval Academy. It's in White Crown. Okay, so Duskval Academy over there in White Crown in the nice area has a college has a library in the College of Immortal Studies. So you go over there.
Yep.
Once again, you're crossing that big bridge, and at the time, you see Sedit, who is acting cagey and moving along, and you realize that she's doing something. And what you don't really realize is you're in the very middle of that whole stalking that she's doing of this other guy.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But you move on across.
Yeah.
And you are now in White Crown, where you can go to this particular university. You do know that they tend to be really dickish about use of their library. So what I'm going to ask for is a roll of some sort to work your way into this library.
Okay.
The building itself, you've got a doorman who sort of is letting people in and out. The students are flashing their, little IDs saying that they're allowed in. That beyond that, because you've done this before, there's a couple of hallways that you would have to go down with black and white check tile floors, and then down some wooden stairs into the basement area, which is a large library that's bigger than the actual building that sits upon it. So you're standing in front of it, and what roll are you making to get past the doorman and actually access this particular library?
I'm probably going to maybe try a command roll.
Okay.
Not that I'm particularly strong in that, but
okay.
Try and use my force of personality to.
So you walk up to the doorman.
Yep.
What do you say? Make the roll, and then and tell us what you say as you're doing it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, just click it. Oh no, you're in a separate window.
I'm in a separate window. I'm in a separate window.
Right. Woo!
Oh,
there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna. Sorry.
No.
He's trying to work the system. I'm gonna say to him. I've been sent by very, very important people to find this information, and I need to find it now, please.
I can get the dean.
I do not have time for that. It needs to be done now.
Okay, and when you say that, let's make this roll.
Okay.
Because that's the forceful command.
Just standard risky, yeah?
It's not even risky. I'd say you're in a controlled position. It'll be a standard effect. Because if anything goes wrong, you can even try it again, more risky.
Then submit that standard effect.
Okay. He says, no. I cannot let you in. He says, I have to have some permission. Now, because you were in a controlled position,
yeah.
Basically you can readdress this thing,
yeah.
But now you move into a risky position. Okay?
Yeah.
So it sort of gives you a chance to do it again, but now the effect is not just going to be, hey, oh, no, I have to get the dean. It's going to be something a little bit more. And he says, look, sign here on the register, and I will. I can take this to the dean, and we can get this adjudicated. You may have to come back tomorrow, but
the people I'm doing this for will not wait. I need that information now. I'm going to throw in the.
Okay.
What's he called? Lord. Who's the? Lord,
which one?
Which one? Delvar?
Delvar. Lord Delvar. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't say that name. But I need that information now.
Oh.
There are powers that be. Oh. Forcing my hand. I cannot wait on a dean.
Oh. So let's make this roll. Let's see if you have cowed him with the name and with your sense of urgency that you're pushing forward.
So that was risky, but is it still standard?
It's still standard. If you get in, you get in. Okay.
Ooh.
It's a success. So what happens there is, there is a implied downside because it's not a 6.
Yeah.
So you're in. However, this particular guard will remember when he gets the scolding later, possibly, depending on how things go. He will remember that you pushed your way in, and if you try and do it again with him, he's going to be super, super resistant. Okay?
Yeah.
But you're in. Okay. And so you do your study. Let's you get your exactly what you need as far as for your training. And you do find a book in demonology that talks a little about this Aragaz the Pitiless, and evidently he has haunted this city for a while. But those that try and summon and use him have largely failed, and his interests have very seldom been with humanity and mostly with the ghosts in the ghost field.
Okay.
Okay. So that's not a lot of information, but that's sort of what I've got right now.
Okay.
All right. So everybody's done 2. We're at 9:19, and what I'd like to do is put us on a quick pause because unlike letting John run off and do things, I have to run off and do things. And I'll be right back. And what we'll do is we'll go to just the after. Either we can do a couple more things, depending if you want to spend money, or we can also talk about where you guys think all the opportunities are that have come out of this entire session of downtime. All right, so I'm going to move this over to the on break window, and I will try and see if I can remember to actually mute your microphones so that other people can't hear them. Okay. And I will have to mute each of you on your own. That's ridiculous. Never mind, I'm not going to do it. You guys talk amongst yourselves. People can listen.
You're muted now.
Just muted himself. Are we still streaming?
No, we're on pause, I think.
No, he's still streaming.
Is he?
Yeah, he's put it on a pause break, but now we've got black screen. But everything's going through. Everything's going. All the audio's going through still.
Oops.
So if you want to talk about anything, I would just use the chat box or chat function on Skype. I did show him how to do it. Honest.
Has anyone played with ChatGPT yet?
Only just some simple stuff. But, yeah, but it can be quite clever. It can also be, as they say, confidently wrong.
Yeah, it can be, but you can tidy it up. But I'm surprised with the stuff you can do now.
Oh yeah. I mean, it came up with a great little poem yesterday that John asked it for. Was it a poem to apologise for kicking Pete in the nuts? Okay, it was really very good.
I should try Bard, actually.
Yeah.
There's you can get it to run like a text-based adventure game for you in whatever world you want.
Did it? Oh.
Yeah. You can get it. I can get it to write me a tutorial for my teaching and stuff, and it does something that would usually take me an hour or so, like 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, it's really good for that kind of thing. That it's something that sort of academically there's been a lot of debate about, because if you're a university student and you're asked to, or just a regular kid, you're asked to write a paper about a book, it will knock one out in no time at all. And there's a lot of debate about whether or not that's allowed or not. I think there have been cases where some schools have said, no, you can use it. What you have to do is you have to then edit it.
Yeah.
And we will quiz you about it afterwards to, make sure you actually understood the material. But yeah, it's
All right,
it's
guys.
a little difficult when it comes to things like homework and stuff like that now, because you know, writing a paper discussing the relationship of Hamlet with his mother in the play. There you go.
Okay.
Got one.
So I've got to say, Google Bard is nowhere near as good at writing poetry as ChatGPT is. I'll buy you a new ice pack, and I'll even give you a massage.
Well, that headed in a different.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice.
Is this written by a woman or a man?
This is me. Well, it was written by Bard. Me saying, write me a poem apologising to my friend Pete for accidentally kicking him in the testicles. I gotta say, it's rubbish in comparison to what Microsoft turned out from ChatGPT yesterday.
What was ChatGPT? Which one did that? What did that say?
I don't recall, but it was hilarious.
It was
very
three or four verses, and I think the last line was it a maybe invest in a couple or two.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It was just
which I thought was
smart.
Really genius, actually. That was really well done.
All right, guys. Someone's alarm's going off.
Wrong, by the way, Bard told me that it was human.
Hmm.
It is.
That's a bit
I
freaky.
managed to confuse it sufficiently that it then said, "That's why I've got a soul, and that's why I'm human."
Oh, jeez. All right.
Okay. It's all right. I'm sure I can probably fool ChatGPT
Yeah.
as well, but.
Cool.
Well,
Hey, everybody,
I
we're
thought it
back,
was interesting that,
and we've been talking
Adobe
chat.
have just
Go ahead.
come out today because you know that copyright's been a big concern with things like DALL-E and stuff like that. What they've now come up with and said is, well, we have a image generation program. In fact, we have two, one of which is designed for text and one is designed for general images. And we have made sure that they are completely trained on non-copyrighted information, on non-copyrighted data.
So by the way, everyone.
You said who?
Adobe.
That would really have to be the case.
Yeah. So basically, they already have a massive library.
But when they say non-copyrighted, are they talking about Creative Commons?
Well, that's my term. They specifically say it is from, either stuff that is in our library, stuff that has been made publicly. I can't remember the exact term, but anyway, they're basically saying you don't have to worry. None of this is copyrighted images.
That's a good idea.
And basically, I think they're also going to offer in the future that artists can provide stuff for their training engine, and they will remunerate them on some basis.
That sounds like a good way to go.
There was an option they sneakily added to the settings where if you saved stuff into the cloud, they could use it for their training data.
Ah, cool. So everyone who's watching.
Okay, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't use it for that, but they were probably using it for other things.
So those of you watching what's going on, can anyone hear me? Am I hearable?
Yeah.
Can anyone hear me?
That's right. I think more likely. Yeah.
I think no one can hear me.
You're muted, Anthony. We can't hear you.
How did I do that? I must have done it in
You're still muted.
Skype. He's probably talking on the stream.
I'm not. I was talking with my Skype muted. I thought you guys just didn't like me. I kept trying to break in, and you guys kept going. I was like, well, that's interesting.
Stand away. We just can't see your lips through the beard.
That's what it is. That's my own fault. So anyway,
can somebody tell me, is Anthony back yet?
So what's happened is we've discussed AI because we're a bunch of geeks, and I now have to reveal that honestly, the Set It character is just AI. We all of it's completely made up. He's not a real person, but we just interact with him and make him feel good because you sort of feel sorry for him being a soulless automaton like he is. But anyway, with that, I'm joking, Rob. You're not soulless. You still have some feelings. We're back into this.
Only for you, big boy. Only for you.
And we have gone through the entire sort of downtime process. Would you like to burn any of your coin for an extra action?
Nah.
I think you're down to 4. You do
I'm
have
not
a
sure that we don't. I'm not sure that we don't want to because Brute's still got an injury.
Yes.
We also still have quite a lot of heat.
And the injury itself will cause him to lose a die on every roll.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking significant.
That's all right. He was lucky with his rolls last time, so I think he can cope with it.
I figure it'll be fine.
So
I figure with the level of stress I've got and the injuries I've got, everything will be fine.
So do you hit Wrecker back up?
Hit.
What was that?
So you go chat with Wrecker again?
Do you want me to physically you?
Yeah, but we'll have to burn a coin for that, right?
Yes, you will.
Well, we've got money for spending, isn't it? We haven't got anything else to spend.
So
Let's spend all 4 coins.
Get rid of the heat.
Get Brute back up.
So what this symbolizes is there's more time passing in between your scores, and so all the upkeep and everything else that's going on, you're going through the coin. Okay.
We basically have 4 spare coin from the last job.
Yes, you did. Man, that was a big job. 8 coin. You guys that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean the previous job we only got 4 coin for, so
that's true. This was great.
That. So I'd say I want to get Brute back up to.
Let's do it. Okay, come on, Wrecker.
Right with everyone.
No, that's perfect way to spend our cash.
That's probably a good idea, just for the healing. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So Physica.
So Tinker +1 is what we decided on last time.
Yeah.
And I will get.
Hey.
There's the 6. All right, so that's what 3. That fills up your clock. You go down, and also keep the clock there, and put 1 segment in it, going towards dropping down to 0 levels. Okay, so you're at level 1.
If that's 3, then I go another 1.
Okay,
and then it should have 2 segments, surely.
That's perfect. Absolutely. And so you are down where you only have 2 segments missing to get off of your level 1, and your level 1 is like bruised ribs. You know, you've they're not broken anymore. They're very tender. Hurts a little bit to breathe deeply, but you're past the point where you had some probably torn cartilage and junk like that.
What heat are we at? What heat are we at the moment?
5.
You got 5, but you had 1, so you're up to 6.
Why did we get 1?
But then he took 1 off.
Oh, you did take 1 off. So we're at 5. Yes.
Okay. So how are we going to get rid of more of that?
Well, we would do what I did, which was to take an action to remove.
So who wants to spend that coin and try and remove some heat?
I've got an idea.
Discuss amongst yourselves. Which idea sounds like a good idea?
Well, one thing we could do is just move the boat and repaint it. Because they're obviously keeping an eye on us.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fine if they're looking for the boat, but if they're looking for us individually, it doesn't make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, but it's like fundamentally the most genius thing.
Who knows?
It's the purloined letter, isn't it?
But yeah.
It's the what?
The purloined letter. Little short story.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's basically that if you want to hide something, hide it in plain sight. Just make it look different and hide it in plain sight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we should just get a little cloth that we can stick on Brute's head and disguise him as an old woman.
So as I walk through the thing, there's a little bit ahead, and people go, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, old woman."
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Wonderful.
I recently found that again, by the way, that cartoon, and I was yeah.
So
He's
absolutely.
going after the evil. Sorry, anybody who doesn't know, it's Thread the Barbarian. So yeah.
Oh gosh. So who wants to make a roll for this, or do we want to do something else?
No, I mean, are we happy to spend a coin on that, or are we?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's. Yeah, okay. Well, what sort of role should it be then, and who's going to make it?
You guys tell me.
Who's got 2s or 3s in something?
And so the way help works, during the last couple of games, I let more than one person provide help. Only one help is allowed.
Okay.
So
anyone?
I mean, the big question here is whether this is command. We're basically saying to the people in the thing, that is a totally different boat, isn't it, buddy?
Could be Sway. Sway does.
Yeah.
Disguise.
Or it could be Sway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Tinker.
It could be Tinker.
Or Finesse.
It could be Tinker.
Could be Tinker.
Yep.
I can always help with
Who's got
Tinker.
2 in any of these?
Yeah.
Well, I think Rekka's got.
Rekka's got 2 in Tinker.
I've got 2 in Tinker, but Finesse could be quite good because that's relevant. I don't know if anyone's got 2 in Finesse.
Well, I think Tinker. That's fair enough because what we do is we go and buy some paint and we saw some bits off the boat. We do a bit of woodwork and we paint it a different colour and we change the name of it and then we move it elsewhere we just move it around to another dock.
Absolutely.
That's basically what we're doing, and that is Tinker, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
You've got 2 in.
You're all helping, so
So you get one more.
I can definitely help.
Absolutely.
So
So
get one more dice,
Absolutely. So you got Tinker plus 1, and let's see what that does to remove your heat. I'm excited.
That's brilliant.
4. All right. So what does that do for removing heat? It is 2. Take 2 more off.
Okay.
So the focus is a little bit more on you than where you're at. However, you have confused people enough as far as everybody go, the people that have said, oh yeah, they're down at the end of the first pier and can describe your boat when asked by a blue code or somebody else. That has changed. So 2 heat down. Very, very good. There's coin spent and result acquired.
Now 2 coin in hand.
2 coin in hand. And how much does your sister owe? I was just wondering, John.
3.
Interesting.
3.
Maybe she can come up with that on her own.
Wow.
Or maybe the next score will have to help her get out of that situation. We'll see.
Well, so what I thought I might do is gain a bit of intelligence for the next score, and then I thought what we might do is we might potentially turn this guy over.
So
if he's a loan shark, we might turn him over.
So what we can do is we'll get back to that because that would be like at the beginning of it wouldn't cost you anything. It would be just at the beginning portion of a score.
That's what I'm thinking.
So I don't want to charge you for that. Okay. Anyone else want to do anything before we're finished with our downtime for this evening?
Brute's sister was borrowing money for a drug habit. Was that right?
Yes, sir.
That's what we were just talking about, yeah.
And are we trying to get her off the drugs?
What's your sister's name?
I
keep calling him Brute's sister, but
Polonia.
Is there any way of detoxing her?
Yeah, she was basically getting hooked on drugs, yeah.
Yeah, can we detox her or something?
Well, I mean, if you can help with that, that would be great.
Oh, that's interesting. That's actually interesting. So sitting around the table, coming up with ideas, your physiker thinks maybe he might be able to tinker her to feel less of a draw.
Don't make it in the same set of instruments, set of chemical instruments as you did the previous load of things. Because the last thing she needs to be doing is crapping herself for the next week as well. Right?
Yeah. I assume you've told your crew about what you're making down in the hold.
Guys, don't come down here and breathe.
The only thing that's trying to get near that is the cat. We don't want that happening.
Rebecca, did you charge those kids for those potions?
I've just they've already helped me, and we're getting on good.
Okay.
They're just going to be friends. If we detox her, we could try and do it using drugs, but we'd also have to lock her up and in a cabin, and there have to be a few people keeping guard on her.
And by the way, you guys are getting a little bit. You guys are getting a little. You guys are getting a little crowded. So you have Vivienne, who actually is not taking up as much room as used to be because she's now sharing a cabin. But Valeris is definitely taking up a cabin and is wishing that she could get out of here as soon as the heat gets off of her.
Well, quite happy for her to go whenever she wants.
Valeris will have my cabin and what have you with Vivienne, and I'll be on the sofa and just when I get the need.
Fair enough. Okay.
A harem.
Yeah, you guys are collecting all sorts of strays. Are you going to add Polonia to that, Paul?
I'm sure what Bruce would say about that.
Actually, we've got a couple of extra square footage down in the hold below.
Yep.
We could convert that into another room.
Okay.
Yeah,
what do you?
We've only got the
nice, pleasant.
What do you think, John, about bringing Polonia into the edge of the crew as far as she would have protection and a roof over her head, but she would also be transiting twice a day back and forth. And
I was actually thinking more about me or Valeris.
Oh, jeez. But so just a chance to. What do you think about that?
That's what I was trying to avoid.
Ah.
The way I figure it is that this is why. Oh, by the way, we've obviously taken an extended period of time here, and I want to know from Ruby what the traffic's been like with bluecoats and so forth.
Fair enough.
Expecting there to be updates at some point. But
you've had a runner, and it's been fairly steady. They had a a sergeant and one of the regulars come by and sort of harass her a little bit. Asking more questions.
I've been keeping a note of what's been going on, but also I'm really interested in.
Yep.
I'm also interested in more senior bluecoats coming in as customers.
So yeah, there's been
those as well,
just a smattering, but no, she got slapped around pretty well by that sergeant and the other person who was with her. Of course, again, in front of all the customers and everything else. Very much in the style of the particular blue coat you guys have learned to love and despise. Well, not love, just despise.
So what I'm trying to the reason for leaving her there is because if she leaves and she's on the streets, then we've got trouble.
Yep. So word back is that the actual dude who you've been watching, and I'm that bad on names, and I'm scanning. Captain Marn.
Yeah.
Drake Marn has been there twice. He has not seen your sister. They've kept her hidden. But when he comes, the level of violence has gone up. When you see Scarlett again, the proprietor, Ruby, sorry, she has been. You can see the bruise on her face from a hand. And she says, "I don't know how much longer we can keep this up."
Okay, so there's another possible door. We have to deal with Captain Marn.
So anyway, that's the seems to be a pressing issue. Okay, so you've sort of gone through all of your basic downtime things. You've learned several things, and let's sort of try and go back through some of the things you think you guys have learned this time that could be possible scores. All right? You've talked a little bit about, we've talked a lot about Polonia and her problems that are going on, and she's got a problem with this blue coat, this particular blue coat, Captain Drake Marn, who is, he might have not been so upset except for the fact that she was lifted under his nose and made him look like an idiot. And then, but at the same time, your sister would have gone through a lot of grief that you would never have wanted her to go through if you hadn't gotten her out. So this Marn is a possible score to do something to. We have this parkour gang, the Blue Devils, who have sought out Wrecker to give them a alchemical device. What's that about? And is that for some score of theirs? That's interesting. We know that Polonia owes big to Ulf Ironborn. He's a newbie in town, a brute of a man. He's a Skovlander refugee, and he has a good gathering of thugs who are doing protection rackets in the area. We're talking about 15 or 20 dudes that he's got under his belt that they go out and beat people up if they don't provide cash. And we're also talking a little bit about this Rosalind Kellis. That's an interesting one, right? And how you've faked this love triangle and you've sort of set up Lord Delvar's reputation and to take off some heat. But she's also a bit of a problem set. And what's going on there? And then further, we've got this Aragaz, the Pitiless. And Mara, I hate to tell you this just before we end. Aragaz the Pitiless, most demons have an affinity to an element that they can move like from a fire flame to a candle flame, or they can move from a puddle to a canal. When I rolled for Aragaz, it's thoughts. And he is actively searching the thoughts of this town for you, because he has felt the brushing of them before, and it's just a matter of time. So we have the problem with the demon Aragaz, and we also have, let's see here, we still have problems with Magistrate Nog. We still have, there's plenty of other little issues like that to deal with. We also have those cards for invitations to this exhibition, right? Yep. The Nameless. So we've got that, which, by the way, is something that is highly interested for Lord Skurlock, who has hired someone particular, Costa, the bounty hunter. And what in the world could this guy be coming back into town hunting? I'm sure it has nothing to do with you guys. Anyway, with that, we have a lot of interesting things. I'll let you talk for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll go ahead and cut it off and call it a night. But I just wanted to throw out all these interesting things I seem to have seen. Did I miss anything?
Possibly, but there's a lot there to do with. Yeah.
I love it. I think that sounds like everything. So I was just making some notes, and we might be able to play Olaf Ironborn against Captain Drake Marn.
I will add one other thing. Jewel, let it be known that their particular establishment is being extorted by Ironborn's guys right now for protection. Pete?
Ruby?
No.
Oh, Jewel.
Jewel. Of
of my yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of your establishment.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, so just to add some different parts to it. that I didn't get completely put out there.
Rob, I like the idea of playing the two off against one another. I think that's really good.
Good idea. Yeah.
So, and
it won't sort Pole out, okay, because the loan sharks will still send Olaf will still send men to go and get the coin, but we can take them out as long as they don't come into Ruby's place heavy-handed.
Mm.
Well, we can take Olaf out, haven't we?
Yeah, but I mean, if we can basically set Drake Marn and Ulf Ironborn against each other, then basically whichever one wins should be quite weakened, and then we can basically finish off the winner.
Or we can just set up Olaf so that the blue coats get him, and Drake knows that we're going to set him up, so that our reputation with the blue coats goes back up again, which puts us on a level playing field, which might give us more reputation with them for us to do more nefarious things when we need to. Or the rep as it is, we set them against each other, and then like Twitch has said, we take them out.
Well, basically, if we set them up against each other, let's say Marn wins, takes out Ulf Ironborn. That takes out the problem with the loan shark threat. Then what we can do is Drake Marn's body is found floating in a canal with a note attached saying that shouldn't have messed with Ironborn.
So I'm going to throw out two more pieces of information, just to cause problems. Felix, you hear rumor that a person called Eckerd is going to present a dissected Tycherosi as part of the Nameless exhibition. And we hear that, Mara, you hear around the horn that someone is spreading rumors that you are killing Skovlander babies to use their ghosts in rituals. And as you try and trace it, it seems to lead to someone named Flint. Okay. And you have seen, strangely enough, that Skovlander's looking at you askance. So, two more little pieces just to cause grief and angst as you decide on the things you're doing next time. I really thought this was probably going to be about a 2-hour dealio just for downtime. Good grief, we've run it pretty well through our entire time. We've given you a lot to think about, and I'll draw up my notes and I'll post those guys once again on Discord, you guys, and we'll see how this plays out. I thought it went pretty well, and I thought that unlike our first downtime, I really thought that when we had one person go, it lagged, and the second and everybody else just sort of was sitting there going, okay, gosh. But that may have just been how I felt about it. But this time I felt that the story was interesting enough that everybody was sort of engaged, going, oh, what's going to happen? So I hope that that's the case. And whatever, the complications continue to expand as everything you touch seems to be connected to something else in this town, surrounded by lightning towers, keeping out the hordes of the dead that you live in. Perpetual darkness, duskfall, blades in the dark. Thank you guys so much. Awesome. I will catch you guys. Catch you guys next Wednesday. Rob, I hope that I didn't do anything bad enough that I have to be called in to be dressed down or anything. But no, awesome guys.
Apart from your audio control on stream,
there is that. There is that. Good. All right.
Put
Love you guys.
Against the screen saying press this to mute.
Yeah. Details. When I was telling my my compatriot at work today that we streamed on Twitch, and he laughed out loud. I don't know why, looking at me as an old freaking guy with a silver beard, that somehow that's weird. But he's like, I can't wait to tell my kids.
You've got the face for it, and you've got the voice for it. Whereas me, I've just got to use voice modulation software to make me sound this good.
Yeah, we know you're just an AI bot, okay? So that's okay. You think you got a soul, but you don't. It's okay. Okay. All right. See you guys.
No, this was a good one. Yeah, this was a good one.
See you next Wednesday. Great fun. Bye, my friends.
Oh, don't forget to end the stream.
Oh gosh, I need to do that. Absolutely, but before I actually start turning off all of everything else. Okay, and anyone that ever watches this, thank you for watching. Hey, bye bye.